Think about this for a second. One Wednesday, Sherrone Moore is the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, getting his team ready for a massive bowl game. By that same night, he's lost his job and he's sitting in a jail cell. It is an absolutely stunning 24-hour collapse that sent shockwaves through the entire world of college football. So we're going to break down exactly how this all went down, step by unbelievable step. Just look at how fast this all happened. It's really mind-blowing. In the afternoon, the university drops the bombshell. The head coach is gone, fired. Then, just a couple of hours later, at 4:10 p.m., police get involved over an alleged assault. And by 8:30 that night, Sherrone Moore is arrested and booked. A career, a reputation, and a whole football program were just thrown into complete chaos in the span of a few hours. Let's start with that first domino. So yeah, the whole chaotic day kicked off with the university's announcement. This was the professional crisis, the one that got the ball rolling and just stunned the sports world. Now, the University of Michigan didn't just let Sherrone Moore go. They fired him with cause. And you have to understand, in the world of big-time coaching contracts, those two little words are basically a legal and financial sledgehammer. It's the university saying he did something so serious that it breaks his contract, which usually means they don't have to pay him a massive buyout. So what exactly was the cause? Well, the university came right out and said they had credible evidence of an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. That's a direct violation of their policy, and it was the one and only reason they gave for taking such a drastic step. And they left absolutely no room for doubt. The athletic director word manual put out a statement that was just blunt. The university maintains zero tolerance for this type of conduct. The message couldn't be clearer. A line was crossed, and that was that. And here's where it really hurts. Being fired for cause means Moore is probably going to forfeit millions of dollars left on his 5-year contract. So the professional cost was immediate. It was very public, and it was absolutely immense. Just when everyone in college football was trying to wrap their heads around the firing, the story took a much darker and more shocking turn. The whole thing escalated from a professional issue to a criminal one. By 8:30 that same night, Sherrone Moore wasn't just the ex-coach of Michigan anymore. He was in police custody, officially booked into the Washtenaw County Jail. Now, the language from the police here is really, really important. They confirmed they were investigating an alleged assault that was reported earlier that afternoon. They didn't release a lot of specifics, but that phrase, alleged assault, is what officially moved this whole situation out of the university's HR department and into the criminal justice system. And then came this chilling little detail straight from the Pittsfield Township Police. They said, quote, "The incident does not appear to be random." That single sentence heavily implies that the people involved knew each other, which just adds a much more serious and personal layer to this whole investigation. Okay, so this is probably the most crucial thing to get straight right now. We are dealing with two separate crises happening at the same time that might be related. On one hand, you have the firing. That comes from the University of Michigan, and it's about an inappropriate relationship. On the other hand, you have the arrest. That comes from the police, and it's about an alleged assault. Different sources, different allegations, and totally different consequences. So this just raises the huge question, right? How did everything spiral so completely out of control so fast? To even begin to understand that, you have to look at the pressure and the scrutiny that was already suffocating the Michigan program. To really get a handle on this collapse, we have to talk about the absolute pressure cooker Sherrone Moore was in from the second he got the head coaching job. I mean, think about what he stepped into. He had to replace a legend, Jim Harbaugh, and he was taking over a program that was already dealing with the fallout from NCAA investigations. So even though he had a pretty good 9-3 record and was getting ready for a big bowl game, the microscope on him and the program was already incredibly intense. And of course, as you'd expect, social media just lit up with all kinds of rumors about who the staff member was. Now, it is so important to stress this. None of that is confirmed, it's just speculation. For our purposes here, we are sticking only to what the university and the police have actually said on the record. So, with their coach fired and now facing potential legal problems, where in the world does this leave one of the most famous programs in all of college football? Well, the fallout is happening right now, and it's messy. Biff Poggi has been named the interim coach, and he has the impossible job of trying to get a team that's in total shock ready for the Citrus Bowl. At the same time, Sherrone Moore is starting a legal process with the police. And on top of all that, the university now has to find a permanent new head coach. It's just chaos. And all of this brings us to the final critical question that's hanging over Ann Arbor. Was this a shocking, awful crisis that's centered on the downfall of just one man? Or is this the chaotic beginning of a total and probably painful reset for the entire Michigan football program? Only time is going to answer that one, but that is the question the Wolverines are staring down right now.